Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Jasmine at the Eternal Circle, also known as the Psychic Mummy. I'm doing a 2-for-1 special. Oh, I'm such a corn dog, right? So, this is probably maybe the last spirit guide one that I'm going to be doing for a while, unless one of my commissions say, hey, do a video for mine. So, this is the last contestant that I've done. This is a spirit guide painting. Okay? It was a very interesting meeting, a very fun meeting with this spirit guide. Very serious individual that I ran into. So, I will tell you how this occurred. When I focused on the individual for this painting, I asked for their spirit guide to come forth. And when I did, I ended up seeing this individual in his green robe and nothing but a white room. And I'm like, alright, so this is what I'm painting. I'm painting a green robe figure in a white room. Gotcha. Not much to paint. So I said to the spirit guide, is this what you want me to paint, just you? Which is, totally fine with me. I have no qualms about that. Some spirit guides are very simple and humble like that, and that's okay. So he turned his face and he started shape-shifting, changing his face into different forms of different ethnic cultural backgrounds. And I'm like, huh, okay, cool, nifty, interesting. Okay, so we have a shapeshifter. And I said, well, what form do you think will be more comfortable for your person for me to paint? So he chose this form that I've painted. But at first he actually chose this Asian kind of medicine man looking individual. That was the first form that he chose. And after a while he's like, I'm like, okay, are you sure? Because like as soon as I start painting, like that's what I'm gonna paint. And then he switched his face again to this one. So that's what happened, okay? So after a while I'm like looking at him and notice that his eyes are very different, He's got these beautiful kind of dark blue eyes, but he's got these almost like star-dusted speckles in them. So like these little flecks of white that look like little stars in his eyes. I'm like, whoa, that's cool. Cool. All right. So trying to get that to be painted in there was rather difficult. I might just try to kind of go over that again just so I can really capture it. So in this painting, there is a lot of symbology. So I asked him, because we were still in this white room, like, so is there anything you want me to add in here? All I'm seeing is, just yourself. And he just smiled and smirked. And then he looked down. I looked down too. And then I see this koi fish underneath my feet. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. And it was so surreal, but here I am standing on top of water with this spirit guide, and when I slowly go to look up, I'm seeing these vines twist around his staff. And I'm like, well, isn't that just nifty? Okay. And then I see the lamp appear behind him, and then I see the tree slowly like form in behind him, and then this raccoon kind of comes out from behind the tree, and then I can hear the owl, and then I look up and I see the owl in the tree, and all these orbs start to flash, and I see this flash of blue and the flash of green and the flash of yellow. So I added that to the painting, and then I see these stacks of books on top of the water, and I'm like, okay, now we got something to work with. And then I see the tree, and the tree has this giant cave opening to it. And even though it's really dark inside the tree, it has a lot of stars inside of it. So the stars light up the darkness inside the tree, which was phenomenal. Very interesting indeed. So we haven't exactly chatted too much yet, but we are starting to chat a little bit more now that I'm writing writing the write-up for his person now. So it's been very interesting. So if we look at the symbology of this, the very simple symbology of the books is obviously learning. There's a lot of learning for this person. The person is doing different variations of learning, spiritually, maybe mundanely, physically, even learning for their self-growth as well, thrown in the mix bag of there. The lamp that he has behind him is about being able to go in between worlds, lighting up the way, divine light energy, okay, things like that, lighting up the pathway, being able to see where you're going, okay, which makes sense because of what I say is the tree of life to me. That's the same vibration that I got from it. And when we talk about the tree of life, there's many different variations and forms of the tree of life through different cultures, but the one that I take for myself, from my knowledge, is that there's 3 forms inside the tree of knowledge. There's the flat plane, which is even ground as soon as you step in the tree of life, okay, which is representative of the physical and the present and the now. And then we have the spiral staircase that is going up, ascending, which is a connection to the higher consciousness and the divine and all the higher realms, okay? And then we have the spiral staircase that leads down into the subconscious and into the other lower realms, okay? And that's typically where we'd hear the term of shadow work, things like that, all right? Ooh-ah. I do the ooh-ah because shadow work seems to be now a trend, so that's kind of a touchy subject for me right now. So that's my take on the Tree of Life. There's a lot to learn from it. There's never ending learning from the Tree of Life, and there's always a relearning with the Tree of Life, always. Every change that you do, whether it's physical or spiritual, there is another message to be learned from the Tree of Life, okay? Very, very important to realize that. Now, with the animals, we have the koi fish, which is a representation of good luck and prosperity, abundance, okay, tenacity, courageousness, okay? They're looked at for being tenacious, very determined, especially when they fight. They will fight to the very end. When it comes to transformation in Chinese culture, they're considered to be able to transform as soon as they are able to cross over the Yellow River, and they are transformed into a dragon. At least that is what is believed. Okay, when we look at the raccoon, we have the raccoon as well, and the raccoon is about adaptability, also about disguise, transformation as well, Courageousness, all right? Curiosity is another one, all right? Great horned owl, also transformation and change, courageousness, love, okay, wisdom, okay? So we have three animal symbols that is about transformation and change and learning how to disguise as well. Um, so whatever learning is going on for this individual, learning how to be able to transform, learning how to be able to blend into one's surroundings, or being able to kind of like chameleon their way with other people, blend in with other people is very important, especially with their line of work, on how they deal with people. Very important as well. How they work with change. All right, very important again. There's a lot of change coming up ahead because of the learning. Definitely, there's a lot of learning going on in here. Um, the spirit guide that's coming forth is what I would say is a master teacher guide. Okay, master teacher guide is a guide that knows more than one subject. Okay, they know more than one subject, and they have a lot of knowledge on those subjects, and usually those subjects kind of string together. Okay, we have teacher guides, yes, but teacher guides usually just have one particular focus, whereas a master teacher guide has a variation of focuses, and they are able to have a lot more intel and a lot more depth with those variations and those learning forms and formations. When we look at the symbology of these colored orbs, we are looking at chakras. These colored orbs are the representation of chakras. Not so much that they need to be worked with, but so much as paying attention and learning from them as well. Okay, so we have green, which is the heart chakra. And basically, what is needing to be learned here is not so much of a giving aspect, because giving seems to be an easy thing for this individual. Very healing, nurturing individual has that kind of gift about them, but they need to be wary and be able to recharge when they're feeling a little bit low and drained. And they need to be also very they need to know that they need to express self-love as well, be able to receive love. Very important for this person in particular. They're more of a giver than they are a receiver, and they need to have both in order to balance. When we look at the blue, we are looking at the throat chakra. Okay, person here is learning or starting to blossom and warm up to communication, which is very important for their business, very important in general for those around them. This guide in particular is very determined to assist with the communication, very adamant that communication continues to be learnt, because this is something that is going to come from not learning perspective, but the learning that is being done here is going to be turned into, I think, probably a teaching perspective eventually for this person. So communication is very important to take a look at for this individual. When we look at the yellow orb, which is our gut reaction, right? The spirit guide wanted them to know to start to trust in it a lot more often. Not that it's not being trusted in, but it's so much as trusting in it more so, right? Instead of going, oh, don't stop being silly, that's not going to happen, and then later go, oh, I should have listened to that. I should have listened to that. And that happens with a lot of us. It happens with so many of us. I do that too sometimes, okay? It's only because we kind of want to test ourselves, right? We just want to test ourselves just a little bit and be like, nah, that's not going to happen. But then it does. And we're like, cool. So this spirit guide wants this individual to start trusting their intuition more and be able to listen to their intuition a little bit more, especially in regards to bigger choices and bigger pathway decisions. It is very, very necessary for this person to start trusting in it a little bit more. The last symbology that was picked up was this spirit guide's ring, which is a lapis. Lapis is about self-empowerment, self-trust. Also, lapis is a great stone for communication as well. On the healing aspect, is good for, supposedly it's good for helping with inflammation due to arthritis and respiratory issues as well. So there you have it, the breakdown of this painting. If I were to even take another glimpse at this, I would say that the water is a representation of healing, maybe some healing work to be done. But for the most part, the waters are still, except for the exception of a few ripples. So to me, that means that most of the healing work is done. There's just a little bit more to take a look at and to kind of let go of. Other than that, I think that overall this painting is about learning and growth, communication, definitely, and a lot of spiritual learning and growth as well. So there's a lot of representation in just this tiny little painting. Just this little tiny painting. Like that's a tiny painting, and there's a lot in there. Okay? When I do these paintings, when I write them up, they're like 2 to sometimes 4 pages long, depending on how much information I'm getting and how much information is being shown, how much symbology there is. And usually with a spirit guide painting, at the end of it, to kind of tie it all together, I'll pull 1 card or maybe 2 depending, just to kind of tie it all nicely together in one package. And that's what I do with the spirit guide cards, spirit guide paintings rather, just so that way whatever message that needs to be conveyed is firmly put in place at the end of my write-up, at the end of my reading, so that way there's confirmation at the end too. I don't do that for past lives because past lives don't really need that confirmation for a reading. Spirit guides usually want to get a message across, so that's why I do the card pull for that one. So if you are interested in a spirit guide or a past life painting, please don't hesitate to contact me. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Insta. You can find me on Facebook. And you can find those links up above on that nice little flashy, intro page there. It has all the icons on it. So you can click on the icons and it will lead you to my stuff. So just shoot me a DM and I'll be happy to respond. I might take me a little while to get there, but don't worry, I will get to you. Definitely will get to you. I love doing these paintings. They are so much fun. I love doing them, especially at the very end where I'm typing away, doing my research and typing away. And my favorite part though, sending it off to you guys. Seriously, it's like Christmas. I'm just waiting to hear back and going, did they get it yet? Did they get it yet? But anyways, that's just me. So if you are interested in one of these, please don't hesitate to contact me. Also right now, I am doing a little bit of a deal for Father's Day. The paintings for Father's Day I am selling for, I think, 60, 65. I'm pretty sure it's 60. Yeah, I'd say $60 Canadian. All right, so they're on sale for Father's Day special. There's other readings that I have on sale too for Father's Day. So if you have a father, or if you are a father, or soon to be father, and you're interested in this kind of stuff, once again, come on over, take a look at my little flyer, and shoot me a DM. I'll be more than happy to hook you up. All right, guys, take care, and I will talk to you all soon.